Hi, Vision Tech nerds. Welcome to the land of HTML, coding, and website building. And some of this is going to be brand new, and some of this is going to be references to things you learned when you first got here. I will tell you that while this is not complex, if you are not attentive, this will get complex rather quickly. So if you don't understand, stop the video, back up, and watch it again. I mean, that's what we have this for. So the first thing we're going to talk about is websites, what they look like online, and how that's going to play into you designing your own website. And I talked the front end of stuff first. So we learned about demographics and how people think about things, and designing for demographics and appeal, like all of that stuff, is called user experience, or UI. Because or front end development. So like if you see somebody and they say they're a front end developer, they're a person who specifies or has a really great skill in designing something to look a certain way, have usability for the people you're trying to target. So that's what that is. UX, UI, user experience, user interface. That's what that's called. Those designer builder peoples. But to understand how a website works, you have to understand what HTML is and how it's read and where all that comes from. So all the web pages that you guys access come from things called servers, and sometimes they're in server farms, or I mean, there's all kinds of things like that. But think of it as a system that broadcasts content. So think of it like a TV station, but not a TV station, but it broadcasts stuff. So we have our own servers here at Smoky Valley, but even though our website is not broadcast from there, and that's a story that I will share with you in class. But none to say, what I've done so you can see what this looks like is I have logged in to the Smoky Valley server. And once upon a time, the Vision Tech classes, we created, built, maintained, and operated all the websites for the district, which was wonderful, but it took all of our time. And so kids didn't have time to develop individual projects or do those kind of things. And that's our bread and butter to getting kids ready to go into a world of work. So we stopped doing that. And that's not a problem. It was fine. So I'm going to go back and show you what this looks like. So when you look at this, notice it says SV400. And you see over here as a server icon as if I was plugged into something. I logged in to the machine that is broadcasting this content. That's what I did. And as you can see, there's all this stuff. And there's stuff from way long ago. This is stuff that's still broadcasting on the internet, but it's not set up to be found. So if I had the correct URL, I would find it. Or if I knew how to get into things, I could find it. But otherwise, you're not going to see it. And if you notice, it says like new LMS, and there's this thing up here that's called Nerd Heaven. That's actually one of my pages that I built. But I'm going to slide down here. Notice it says Seth Yenny. This is when he built a website for us. It's still online. I'm going to slide down here where you see this. It says SVHS, SVHS_1, SVH1, SVHS2. And the reason that we have so many of these are duplicate copies. They're backup copies because, things get saved over, and when you save over stuff, poof, that original content is gone. So when we designed our website, we would build them, and then we would duplicate them in case something happened. But I'm going to go to this one that says SVHS because that was our main draw. I'm going to click the toggle so you can see what's in there. So notice we have notes, athletics, buttons, and we have these pages, and we know they're pages because notice they're called .html. Faculty, so that's our faculty page, .html. The files that are used within there, you can see those. handouts, pictures. Notice pictures are often called images. There we go. So here's all of our pictures and that are labeled. See all those? And we have a page called library, and there's a page there. Okay, so here's what I want you to see. That within this main folder that says SVHS, that I have folders within that, and within those folders there's content. On a website, if I were writing a URL, I would have to access each of those specific points so that I can see the directory. This thing is called a directory tree, and that's how websites are broadcast. I'm going to show you what our page looks like. So for any major website, any large website so of multiple pages, the main page, also called the splash page, is going to be labeled as index within HTML. Okay, so look at this page right here. Okay, it's called index because HTML knows that when something is being broadcast called index, it's the landing page, and it structures it that way so that you can find it, or it could be found in that manner. So every website is going to have a main stage page called a splash page that broadcasts the rest of the site. So I'm going to open this, and we're going to look at this in Chrome. Okay, so remember this is old, so it's going to be a little janky. But remember that our browsers broadcast HTML and show us our history. So I don't even need to use a search engine to do this. I just am going to double click it. It's going to automatically open in my browser. And I'm going to pull that browser page over here so you can see it. Okay, so as you can see, this browser page has a banner across the top that we've designed. It's got a navigation bar. That's what we call this. And if you notice, we've got roller over capabilities. It's got a scrolling screen. And at one time, this file. Let me see if I can unblock it. Real quick. Derp. No, I don't want to bother turn off. Okay, but honestly, it was just image scrolling. I don't want to mess with my settings. And if you notice, it's got links down here, and it's pretty cool. So this was actually the last website designed by the Vision Tech class, and I'm trying to think. The last time we had it up and running was about 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. It ran for a long time. But it basically has these pages. So I don't even know if they're still active, but let's find out. So let's go to where the students page is. Oh, it is. Notice it comes up with our image, and it's got other links to the newspaper, for example. Good gosh, we can go look at that. We can look at organizations, all the clubs, and realize that for every one of these links, there is a page that we had to develop, build, and maintain. So as you can see, there's a lot of work there of stuff, and it's old enough to still be running really old stuff. So notice we had a Ustream TV channel even then. So that's what a page looks like. But what I want you to really remember is that this is what it looks like when it's actually on a server. I mean, if I put an entire website on a server, it would just be a folder, and in that folder would be this content. And that's critical because that's what we're going to start building. Now, we're not going to actually put it on a server, but we're going to actually build a folder with internal content that will create a web page. And that's your first lesson. Second lesson, or the last lesson, is anything that I create to go on a server, like what we're going to do, would have to be launched, placed on a server, set up with a domain name, tie that together. I mean, there's a lot of processes to this. It's not something simple or something that just comes automatically. So I guess strap on your boots, boys and girls, because we're going to move on to HTML coding and Dreamweaver.